Hello, this is Tanuki Sparkle, recording part 2 of the demo review for Lars TSM. Part 1 is already on the YouTube channel. Believe part 1 was lost, but now they're attacking first. I won't cover the same sort of loadout things as the first part. It's interesting, I don't know what you're changing here. This is interesting. This isn't me doing this, by the way, this is Lars. I don't know if it's... okay. You were busy before this game started.
Mission begins in 10 seconds.
There we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright, so straight off the bat, if you'd been looking around, like, instead of being in your menu, whatever, you would have seen the stickies there, but what can you do? It's a suicide rush anyway. I like the fact that you didn't bonk out straight away, though. Just a shame you didn't get to survive that long. So you know where the sentry is, you can call that out. Oh man, that's unfortunate. You want to be sort of helping that distraction now. Have you got the bonk on? I think I've seen you use your pistol a bit. I'm going to try and get the others on. Yeah, you've got bonk. The sentry's gone down though, doesn't matter too much. You keep the pressure on the cart, that's good. No one else really going to stop you. Keep an eye forward just in case that happens. There was nothing inside, you didn't need to keep looking out to the side. As a sniper, you know he's there. Just try and, yeah, you could stay behind the cart, maybe put some pressure on him. That's unfortunate, you're doing the right thing by staying on the cart anyway. In the case of that sniper, it does really sort of put snipers off with their aim when you just chip them with, say, 3 damage at a time. It's all it takes just to throw their aim off a little bit. And it might have saved 2 of your teammates there, in fact, because he did manage to pick up quite a few people before you got taken down. Okay, so that's, you know, anytime you walk through a choke, you want to be checking to the side. Obviously, you were distracted by that scout. It was unfortunate. These things happen, but if you can, just try and remember to check around the sides. Hopefully, you would have called it out, and yeah, your team's taking them out fine. So I imagine you did. I like that you're going for the scout, staying on the flank sort of side of things. You could be getting more pressure on the cart. It's a shame your medic isn't buffing you as much as he could. It's very difficult for a Highlander medic to do that sort of thing, but if the opportunity arises, it's always nice. You can always sort of say to him, "Can I come get a buff?" Hopefully he'll say yes, and you can go ahead. Let's see if this is coordinated then. The sentry's there. Have you got your team backing you up? Yes, you do. That's perfect. That is very, very good. That's much improved on the first part. It's a shame the sentry didn't actually go down. That was a long bonk. That was essentially a free Uber combined with a crit streak. The NG's down though. You're doing a good job here. Picked off. You did the right thing, I think. The NG was down. You knew the sentry needed to go down. Hopefully your team can finish it nice and easy. I would have done the same in your position. Go out there, try and get some damage on it. You should really have a... yeah, there we go. Jippy Doe's just done it. Soldier and demo can be very good for that, especially when there's no NG. That's the main thing. If you're having trouble checking your spy and he's not looking at you, don't be afraid to just try and walk into him sometimes. I mean, obviously it's much more risky than actually killing him, but you'll know straight away if he's a spy. Like, you don't actually have to walk into him if he's watching you either. He's inviting you to a trick stab at that stage, but... Weezer wasn't looking at you, he was looking at the metal. He didn't probably know you were there until he started shooting. You know, play with what you've got. I'm disappointed that no one's come to help you out so far with that scout. I mean, he's left eventually. I think that was him just dead. But all that time you were there, you really wanted someone else to be coming to help out. You should be calling out, say, scout behind us in first point house. At that stage, your soldier, or, well, usually a soldier, but someone else as well, could be coming out and helping. You did very well to sort of hold it, but you didn't go for a silly bit of movement or anything. You didn't try and get up in his face. You just made sure that you stayed alive, which is very important. There we go, you're getting on the cart, that's good. Don't be afraid to sort of take more of an indirect route. You don't have to run straight to the cart every time. it's good when Scout can check more of the outside areas, because you're a fast class, not many other people can do that. Heavier classes like the Soldier or maybe the Engineer, who's a bit slower, who need to push the cart, you will usually run straight to it. A Scout can take a long route, say through that elbow there where the demo just was, and you'd have seen the Heavy. If he didn't go down, you can be able to get some nice damage on him. This is good, taking the sort of, again, the unit 3 that I was talking about. You get behind them now, you can get some pressure on that demo. That's good, you don't have to finish the frag, and that's perfect. You backed off, you've on the cart. That was very good play. Oh, you pop crits, that's... Well, you personally haven't, but your team has, it's interesting. Let's just stay back a bit here. You're the Scout, you don't want to be the forefront of the attacking force. You want to be supporting them, perhaps, like coming in after the big fight's over, but you don't want to be the one in the front lines all the time. So just staying near the cart is much better. This Scout has pulled 3 players back. I mean, yes, it's fine for the Scout to be the one to deal with it. I certainly don't think the Spy should be. That's very strange. Scout or Soldier can go deal with him. You know, you had 3 players coming back. Just say to him, look, I'll deal with this Scout. There you go, you're fine. Unfortunately, the Soldier did get the idea and went back, but you really didn't need 2 players there. That was unfortunate. Ah, you got it in the end. Assuming he's not Deringer. Pause. Alright, I'm going to try and just speed this up. Yeah, you're not doing too badly so far. It's a vast improvement on round 1, which is surprising considering they must have been a few minutes apart. You could definitely spend much more time in the flank sort of areas. You don't... Press G for cookies. You don't need to be going always in the same route. That will certainly improve your play a bit, I think, if you manage to vary it a bit. Things are getting behind you. It'll be happening a lot more. Things getting behind you in a higher div if you're not covering that flank. That's why I keep mentioning it. Here it's not so bad because the enemy Scout is doing the same. He's running down the middle, going through the straight line. It's not too much of an issue. And to be fair as well, this map doesn't lend itself to sneaky spots for Scouts on the defending team. On the attacking team, you've got quite a few options to get forward, but the defender doesn't have much of a choice. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you're playing this map, but also particularly other maps. That it's very important for you to do that sort of thing. I like that you kept the time on the cart there, you know, kept it rolling, at least not running backwards. And now that you've sensed the opportunity, you're keeping the car moving forward. That's really good. You've got your team with you. They can't really stop you here. Doing the right thing, absolutely. I don't think that was necessary to go straight forward there, but it's working out alright. Your team's still on the cart. You've got time through on it. It's fine. Shame about that full damage. Yeah, you just got a little bit too close to the pyro, unfortunately. It happens. I know you sniffed the kill. Yeah, as much as I keep saying you need to stay on that cart, I think you're right in that situation. There was still ×3 on the cart. You knew your team was there behind you. A lone player like that, like a pyro, that shouldn't be able to get in range of you if you play it right. Yeah, you did the right thing. That's a good example of when aggression is perfectly fine. I like that you come in here, maybe not like at the same time as the Uber, but come in to support it. I don't agree with the decision to pan. Oh, you got him. Well done. That's quite something. I do think though that you should have just reloaded the scatter gun. You would have been sort of able to kill him much quicker, I think, and particularly if this was a higher team, I don't think you'd have had much of a problem. I don't think they'd have had much problem there taking you out. The Engineer, for example, could have just turned around and shotgunned you a couple of times. It would have been fine.
Thanks, Doc.
Okay, your team's getting pushed back a little bit here, so we do. That's good, taking your left route. You know, supporting your team, that's good. Going on the flank. You knew the sniper was there, he seems to be gone now. Pressure on him, force him out. And there you go, you don't have to follow him in here. What you've done is you forced him out, you've given your team that ground. Just continuing to hold the left, if no one else does, is a very good thing. Now you can, even getting on the cart here, you can still see that left hand side, you can still see if someone's going down there, that's good. Hopefully you just saw the sniper there. Yeah, you have, you're pressuring him a little bit. He'll have a health kit, but you're forcing him to focus on you instead of something else more say I wouldn't say important, but of more of a pick value. Getting this timeless cart is nice. It's very tempting to just stay on it as long as you possibly can, but if you get it forward and get it rolling a bit, and then you back off, you're ready to come in again next time your team pushes, and then you can push it even more. Whereas if you die pushing it as far as you can, when your team pushes in, you might not be there ready to push it again. Rob was great at drilling the idea of survivability into Team 1's head when we were trying to improve, and it's a very important thing for any team to think about. The more players you have up, it's just going to do wonders for your team overall. Work on your surfing a little bit is all I can say about that. Yeah. Yeah, survivability. It's important for every class. You can't just think about it as, oh, I'm only the scout, I'm only the spy or something. If I go down, it's not going to be too much difference. If you go down, it's still another player down. Like, once those couple of classes they start piling up, basically. 9v8 is always going to be nice for the team with 9. 9v7, there's not much point in going in if you got the 7. This falls back on the same point as in part 1. There was no need for that bonk. It didn't do anything. It didn't distract at all. If the team has managed to get onto the sentry, or is going to be getting on the sentry soon, that's the good time to be going for the bonk onto it. If the team is just going to, I don't know if your team Ubered there or not. It's hard to tell. I saw the enemy team was, but if your team's going to Uber far out, it doesn't really matter if you can bonk on the sentry, because they're not going to get in enough to do anything about it. You'll be better off trying to support them in the fight sort of further back, or further forward in your case, I guess. I like what you're doing right now. They're holding that side. Ideally, well, in my opinion, it's better to have, say, the engineer with a mini sentry on the left-hand side. It's easy for him to hold it down. It's very difficult, particularly with the right sentry spot, to actually get past it. There's a sentry spot that is, I would personally call it a glitch, but it's legitimate. It's impossible to see from the defender's side. You can't shoot it with hit scan unless you get around the side of it, and it can shoot you with hit scan, so it seems very unfair. This bonk is good. You're getting right up in the sentry when they're pushing in. The sentry goes down as a result. Well done. Hopefully backing off in time. Taking out the scout is lovely. And there you go. You backed off enough to sort of for them to think, okay, the scout's not a threat anymore, and then you came back in when you saw the opportunity arose. That's the perfect time of, like, that's a perfect example of how to back off and then re-aggress. You shouldn't get in the mindset of aggression is bad as much as aggression is good when it's done at the right time, and that was good timing for it. Oh, double death. I don't know how the... yeah, there we go. I don't know how the pyro didn't see him when he listened, but there we go. Whoa, the team is very far back here. This is not good. You're on fire, you're fighting a soldier. There you go, good idea, get back. Medic can't stay healing forever, so yeah, don't expect him to. Team's been pushed back, well done. Taking some high ground. Sentry, that's unfortunate, it's moved like that. But you have to check for these things. You know, you can't just expect it to be at the same place, especially when it has actually gone down. You bonked in, you helped it go down. It's probably going to be rebuilt somewhere else. A good engineer, well, unless it's a very, very normal sentry spot, probably won't rebuild in the same place very many times, especially when he's got so many choices. So be aware of things like that. You know, you don't want to run into somewhere that is likely to be covered by a sentry, like up there. Bear in mind, of course, that once that sentry is up on the top left, this bottom left option becomes much more, you know, attractive. Once you can sort of get in, if you can get in, which that's unfortunate, you just jump back onto a roller. If you can actually get in on that bottom left when the sentry's top left, the sentry can't shoot you as you come in. It's a really nice place to walk in when your team's Ubering in. Probably won't be watching it. That's going to be an unfortunate Uber, I think. Other team probably won't be watching it, and you'll get in, you'll get behind them, you'll be able to cause some serious distraction. Just checking the time left, because I do have to go at some point. It's good getting on the sniper. Don't be afraid to jump around a bit, because otherwise you're in a perfect... Your head is perfectly level if you just run at him. It might go left and right a bit, but as long as he times the shot, he doesn't have to move his crosshair up or down. If you're jumping, ideally you're going to kill him before you land, because he doesn't want to have that sort of head sight as he lands. But this is just me talking about how I snipe anyway. It's probably very subjective. Just making sure that you're not giving him too much of a predictable thing. Most classes I'd tell not to jump versus a sniper, but a scout is a slight exception with his double jump ability. Yeah, it's 2v1 there. I get the feeling that you're not getting enough support on this flank. A soldier would be really good for whichever flank you're holding. Like, the soldier and scout can work together so well. Ah, double death, that's so unfortunate. Yeah, a soldier and scout can work together so well on a flank. The soldier does a huge amount of damage with the first rocket. Perhaps can't finish off, like, say, a scout when he gets popped up in the air. Scout's got a scattergun. Doesn't have to wait for him to land or anything. Just takes him out straight away. It works very well. This is good. This is what I'm talking about. The sentry's top left. It can't see you. You saw the opportunity to come in. Oh, you don't need to bonk. You don't need to bonk. But that's a good use of the bonk. Okay, well done. That's a lovely thing to do. I'm sure you did do it. I'm sure you did it on purpose, but I'll explain it just for anyone just in case. You're using the bonk to have the sentry kill its own engineer. It's very fun to watch. And it works out to good timing as well. Obviously I don't have the comms here, but the demo's, you know, clearly going to go in for it. So yeah, well done with the timing as well. Even if you weren't going to do that really lovely play, it would have been nice timing perfectly anyway. You'll have to excuse my friend Chin Fuzz typing away. Watch out for that sticky. Oh, you bonk anyway, that's fine. Alright, sentry's moved, you can call that out to the team. Think about getting out instead, yeah. Whoa, that was a sting trap and a half. That falls under the category of checking doors again. No one checks the doors every time, but do try and make a habit out of it. It's more important for classes who are with the medic, of course, but it's important nonetheless for everyone.
Mission ends in 60 seconds.
That's going to touch again on what I said in the first video of that main doorway is a really horrible place for Scout. Just a case of a horrible small choke point. It's difficult to push in through a lot of different ways on this map. Bottom left and top right are better for Scouts because they're less guarded, they're slightly more open, and it's harder to spam into those two places. A demoman can stand almost anywhere and spam into that main door. He can't usually spam into the bottom, say the bottom left, where it's covered by so many different walls around it. Well, then picking up the scout, you're running low on time here. You need to start thinking about the cart. This pyro is just causing a huge distraction. You haven't actually been doing too much on the cart in this whole sort of game. I mean, I appreciate you're pushing in with the bonk to support the Uber. The bonk here isn't going to help. You need to get on that cart in the 5 seconds. But anyway, the game's probably over. Yeah, it's very important throughout the game, particularly during the Uber, to be getting that time on the cart. It forces the enemy onto the cart as well. It makes it easier for your combo to have a easy fight. If their combo can just stand in front of your combo can do nothing until the Uber's faded. Usually when you're pushing in, you will have popped first anyway, and it's not going to work out too well. If you're standing on that cart, the enemy team goes, oh shit, we've got an Uber on one side, we've got the cart with ×2 or maybe even ×3 on it on the other. We've got to make a choice here. We can either stop the combo coming in, and we can deal with the cart, or we can go deal with the cart, which is very important in a payload game, and worry about the combo later. And usually a team will have to worry about the cart, because if they don't, it will get pushed very, very far, and it'll make it very dangerous. They won't be able to push out later. It'll make the thing much more hard to defend. They'll have to really dig in rather than having the ability to push out into you. Unfortunately, we have a fire bug in the demo. You're on fire from the rest of the game, it looks like.
Mission begins in 30 seconds.
I'd like to see what loadout you're using, but I don't think we'll be able to. Unless you start twiddling it around, but there we go. Oh, don't pause again. I really don't want you to pause again. Oh, you paused again. I shall speed up. Okay, I'm interested to see where you hold on this one as well, 'cause in the first game you held in the house on the right there that you can see on the screen. which didn't work out too well, just because, you know, a heavy class came in, it's a small confined space. I'd like to hopefully see that you learn from that mistake and maybe hold somewhere else, like, I don't know, down here, I don't know if you can see my cursor actually, down on the bottom left, where you've got space to move out. Perhaps even a bit further forward you could take the health kit before they spawn, just so long as you're not going to get picked off the instant they move out. Anywhere that you can see them coming out is a good place, and, you know, of course, making sure you've got that route to back out from. Here we go. Okay, your sniper's gone down there straight away, that's unfortunate. Don't know if your medic's watching this, but it would be nice to have your sniper have a buff at the start of the round. I know it's difficult when he's so far away, but there we go. Jumping into an Uber, not always the best thing. Quite lucky to survive, if you ask me. Well, there you go. The enemy team popped immensely early. I've never seen someone pop so early on a bomb blitz. But it is what it is. It worked out in the end. It would have been better to stay in a position that wasn't covered by heavy classes. Wow, I thought you were going to die 4 damage there. Oh, poor Maxa. Going for the tall kill. It's good that you're already back here setting up. Look, not you personally, but the engineer. I'm not sure about his sentry spot. It's not going to cover the tracks. It's going to be quite easy to push the car past that. That's a discussion for another time. Not sure what you're doing, really. Again, falls into the same context as before. You want to be covering the flanks, not the tracks. You can see the heavy and the demo are spamming that down. They're doing fine. Really, you're going to get quite beaten up if you stay there. This is a nice place. You know, you've got a health kit. You can back off a bit. It's a little bit dangerous just because of that. That's what I'm about to talk about. You forced an early pop though. It was, oh wait, maybe it's essentially caused the early pop actually. Yeah. A better place is where that sniper just was. You jump across to that platform at the top. You stop anyone coming from up there. It's difficult for them to get pressure on you, and if you really have to back off, you can jump out from the top, or you can drop down and get the health kit. Lots of places to back out. If no one's there harassing you, you can get behind them and really deal some damage to the medic. And on top of everything, you're just covering 2 flank routes. It's a very good spot to be in. Not sure what you could have backed off there, and it would have been fine. It looked like the team was backing off. I'm not sure why you ran back into the cart. Your team now has like 4 players down. I can't imagine you'll be able to hold this point for very long unless you get some spawns very soon. The enemy team's pushing forward. It's not looking good. Oh, he's running Huntsman. Oh, you're losing players. It's going to have to be a good hold. Demo's that far forward. Is a spy on the right? Oh, didn't see it, never mind. Then again, even if you had seen it, I agree. The cart is more important at this stage. Yeah, if this is capped, then that's game. So I'll refrain from talking about flank positions on third, just because there's nothing else you could do here apart from try and stop that car as long as you can. Which actually seems to have worked out. If you manage to hold this, then we can carry on. Okay, good. Yeah, normally I'd be saying get on the flank. In that situation, though, you only had a few players up, you needed to get on the car and stop it, and well done for managing to pull it off. That's quite impressive. Unfortunately, you get back and it's in the same position again. There's not much you can do about that. Working on survivability might have helped there. I mean, if you're alive to stay, that's a harsh comment to make when everything was dying around you. But there you go. The main sort of issues again were positioning and survivability. Deathmatch obviously could do with work, but it's not bad to the point where you're going to lose things because of it. Covering the flank more, staying on the objective more, all these things that a scout needs to be doing. You start paying more attention to them, you'll start picking up the play as you do it. Try and get some more synergy with your soldier. That would be a good thing, if you ask me. I don't know if you have the same soldier playing all the time. I don't pay too much attention to KSV's roster. but the more you can, soldier or engineer, whoever's on that flank with you, if you can start getting synergy with them, you can start coordinating little mini pushes onto the flank, start getting picks with them, holding things better. Players will stop getting behind you, and you will start getting behind teams easier. And when you can say confidently, like, our flank has been damaged or is down, it gives your heavy classes that knowledge to know that there's going to be something behind us soon. So even if you don't quite have the deathmatch ability to hold a flank against a really good team, it's going to help your combat out regardless, the fact that you're coordinating that. I guess that concludes the demo. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I provided a little bit of insight.